Oh, what happened to the Steelers? They were very lucky the year they went 13-3 in 2017, and they were just very unlucky. All that good luck and fortune just went away, and every bounce did not go their way. That's the that's
You
the
want to hear
easy
my
version.
running theory?
What's that?
You want to hear my running theory?
What's that?
Le'Veon Bell. That was your poison pill right there.
Oh yeah,
That wasn't.
he messed up the whole year. I agree.
It wasn't losing him. It was the dynamics behind losing him that burned this team. I think you saw the end with AB. That's really what I think.
I think the Steelers are they lead the league in drama, and they've done that for the past 2 or 3 years now, and it's getting really annoying because I like my team to be thought of as respected, and everybody's basically laughing at the team and saying what the hell is wrong with you people. So it's not a fun feeling.
Yeah, you've gone from one of the classiest organizations in the NFL to one of the trashiest real quick.
Basically,
That's gotta be a problem.
I can't argue that. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Well, hey, we were that for about, I don't know, 30, 40 years. I mean, okay, not that long, but. So.
I wanted that Steelers Rams Super Bowl because it would be a rematch of what was it, 1980 or whatever.
We wanted that, and we'll still argue to this day that the better team on the field that day was the Rams. Just one missed interception away from Nolan Cromwell, one blown coverage, and it's all over. But the Rams could have easily won that Super Bowl. But I'll tell you what, the rematch you wanted though was the Patriots one.
Oh yeah, that would have been that could happen.
That could happen, yeah.
Yeah. That 1980 Super Bowl. That was that was like the end of the Super Steelers with all those legends, and the Rams weren't even supposed to be there. And they were, you're right, they were nearly the better team that day. They played them. I think they led at halftime. You're right. They had the better of the game, and then just a few plays went the Steelers' way, and they ended up running away with it. So.
What a lot of people forget about that Rams team was that was a good team all through the 70s. 73 to 79, they won the division every single year. They held the NFL record until the Patriots broke it for most consecutive divisions won. That was a team that were pretty much a quarterback away from being the best team in the NFC. That's all they really were. Just they needed a solid quarterback play. They had everything else. And they could never get together. And people don't really know that. If you don't know your NFL history, you think, okay, the Rams, they were all right. They were good. No, they were actually very good. But other teams, the Vikings and the Cowboys, they had quarterbacks. Rams didn't have that quarterback who could be the leader.
I didn't know that. Yeah, it was a little bit before my time, but I remember Vince Ferragamo was the quarterback there, and it was kind of I think people were like, what who's this guy?
Well, yeah, everybody was for that. And then in the end, he himself didn't really fulfill a promise he showed in that season. He really could have been much better than he actually was.
So in week 9, the Rams and the Saints played, and it was a 45-35 game. Do you think it's going to be that high scoring this game, or do you think it's going to come a little bit more down to earth?
I called it 27-24 for the rematch. These aren't the same two teams they were in week 9. Both teams to me are defensively a little more sound. Both teams are a little more concerned on their offenses right now. They've settled in a bit, and the Rams had the big one for the Rams was Aqib Talib. Him being out really kind of messed up the entire pass defense, the entire secondary. It was forcing Marcus Peters, who's really not a man-to-man guy, to try and play man-to-man. And that's not who he is. He's his own guy. He's his own guy who has a tendency to look in the backfield and try and cherry pick an interception here and there. And that wasn't going to work against Drew Brees and the Saints. This was not going to happen, especially against Michael Thomas. And they got burned. If you put these guys where they're supposed to be, where Talib is manning the one corner there, the one side, and Marcus Peters on the other side, and he can play back more into the zone, then the Rams are going to be fine. It's really a question of, can Talib lead that secondary because they've had issues all year with communication and guys, not just Peters, but guys in general looking in the backfield trying to make that play because they're a bunch of ball hawks, is what they are. And for the Saints, they're much more solid now on defense, and I'm looking for them to really do the best I can to make Jared Goff beat them and shut down the run.
Yeah. Speaking of the run, is Gurley okay, or does it matter? Is he kind of in a timeshare with C.J. Anderson now?
Well, that's the weird thing. During the Dallas game, I thought that he looked fine but didn't look like himself. And it would not surprise me. I think they're going to go take a look at that knee in the offseason. I think if you have gone through the entire year with knee inflammation and it's kept you out for part of the last part of the season, there's something bigger wrong. But when he was timed during the game, it blew my mind. They timed him at his fastest time than at any point during the season. So he's fine for now, but what the Rams are going to do is they're going to use a two-man approach, have C.J. Anderson come in there. We call him the bowling ball. I call him the bowling ball. And he's going to bowling ball them right through, wear them down. You're going to bring Todd Gurley here, and they're going to try and break down that front seven for the Saints. Just pound, 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 and see if they can break them down enough to where they don't have to rely on Goff, who's been a little uneven thus far in the latter part of the year.
One thing that's really going to hurt the Saints is defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins got hurt in that game last week. It's not going to help their run defense, that's for sure.
No, but you know what? When I talked to the Saints guy for our show last night, I talked to David Romero over there for Saints BS and Beer show, and he told me one of the things they're really confident about is because that is actually one of the deeper parts of their roster, that defensive line. They're confident they can have one or two guys kind of and do enough to make up for that loss. He's more concerned about their offensive line being unhealthy than he is about that defensive line. So I'm looking at that and saying try and attack, and like I said, they want to try and force Goff to throw the football. And I'm saying if you want to do that, fine, because I'll take the Rams playmakers against anybody.
Yeah. Now, so Aqib Talib didn't play in that first game in Week 9, and Michael Thomas basically owned them. He had 211 yards and a touchdown. Do you think he'll blanket cover him throughout the whole field, or how does their secondary work?
I think they're going to keep Talib on him quite a bit. I also think that they're going to play a little bit of zone as well. So we're going to see. It's really, it's really hard for me even kind of break it down more than that, because Talib he's been injured twice since he came back. They've taken him out twice. I'm not exactly confident that they're going to trust Michael Thomas to Talib alone. I'm guessing they're going to keep Talib with him. I'm guessing they're going to bounce around with Nickel Roby-Coleman in the slot. They're going to move Peters back a little bit, let him play some zone. They tend to play a little more soft coverage, a little softer than I'm comfortable with, to be honest with you. But I'm looking more at a safety corner combo to kind of keep an eye on Michael Thomas more this time than they did last time. They just got caught too much looking forward into the backfield than they were before, and that was the biggest problem. Coverage in itself wasn't the problem. It was guys looking in the backfield that was the problem.
Because he wasn't there.
Exactly. The ball wasn't coming to them; it was going over their heads. So.
Yeah. Apparently, Marcus Peters and Sean Payton were are having a feud or something. What was he telling? Was the accusing of trash talking? Marcus Peters is that dude's a character.
Yeah. He's just a little screwy. The thing with him is I think he's probably 3 or 4 fries short of a Happy Meal, to be honest with you. But what he did also, I mean, it was just the press conference yesterday. He got to New Orleans and he was praising the city, praising for what it feels like to play there, just kind of the soul of the city after Hurricane Katrina. And I think underneath all the kind of trash talk, that he has a genuine sensitivity towards the people in the game involved. He just wants to win. He wants to win. He knows he messed up in that Saints game. And any competitor out there wants to go out there and redeem themselves. And that's what I took from the stuff he said after the first one. Is that, that's not going to happen again. I won't go back out there. I'm going to have some gumbo. And that's just Marcus Peters, really. It's Marcus Peters. He always has something to say that's humorous and a little trash talky, but there's a little more underneath than what meets the eye.
I think when you play a team the second time, you learn you make adjustments, and I think the Rams are going to make a lot of adjustments, and having being a lot healthier will help. So what do you think the percentage, if you were to put a percentage of the Rams' chances of winning, what would you think they would be?
50-50.
Huh?
I mean, you go back to the Dallas game, and I have no idea how much the Dallas game you watched. That was the best job of game prep I've seen a Rams coach make in years. Just the work they put into playing that game out, to studying film. That was the Rams coaching staff at their best. What many people, I think, don't understand about this Rams team is they needed to lose those games. They needed to lose to to Philadelphia and Chicago to really kind of figure out who they are. And once they're able to do that and kind of lock into what they do, what they're supposed to do, where they're going, you've seen a very different view of this team. The preparation for the Dallas game, I haven't seen it in a very long time. They knew every little tick on that defensive line. They knew every little flaw. They knew where to go, where to hit it. And the game, if it wasn't for Dallas being so gutsy, that game would have been a blowout in the third quarter. That's credit to Dallas, not the Rams. And so that's the team I'm expecting to see out there on Sunday. They knew they got their second chance. They knew they nearly blew it. And that's the team you're going to see.
I heard about some of that preparation. They knew exactly what Dallas was going to do, just based on like where they placed their hands and stuff like that, because they study them so much. So, they say it's so tough to win in New Orleans and it's so loud and stuff like that. But I mean, heck, the Steelers almost did it. So can't be that hard. I think I give the Rams a better than 50-50 shot. Actually, I know some of the experts are picking the Rams too.
Well, it's if you establish that running game early, it's going to shut a whole lot of people up. And it's also a lot easier, in my view, to establish the running game, to communicate with the running game, than to try and communicate out with the passing game. So it's really, to me, that first quarter. Watch that first quarter. Are the Rams able to do enough in the passing game? The rushing game. Are they able to establish the line of scrimmage? Are they able to also, here we go. Are they also able to establish a short passing game? Because what teams have been doing is they'll key the run, they'll lock down the short intermediate areas and basically bait the Rams to go long. Okay? So the Rams need that short game in order to be effective and kind of force the Saints to widen out a little bit instead of concentrating, right in the middle there. And that, to me, is the big key for the Rams offense.
Yeah. I just saw something. All 5 of Goff's passing touchdowns since week 16 have come on play action passes. So it's very important to establish that run to get that pass game going. So I think it's going to be a really good game. I think both games are actually going to be really good. So